Good science, by definition, allows for more than one opinion. Otherwise, you merely have the will of one man, which is the basis of cult.
If it's not in frame, it doesn't exist.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore!
I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you?
Where you been?
Drunk.
Wendy, darling, light of my life.
What's your one purpose in life?
To explode, of course.
I like death with sex. How about you, Casey? You like sex with death?
Yeah, so fuck up and die.
That dopamine hit, you don't even understand. That's
I know,
like,
even
that's all the like two synapses left in my brain that fire.
I know. I still have to make a joke
together.
to David, and then he won't laugh, and I'll be like, Jordan would laugh. Like, that's how
true.
you know
Yeah,
it's
so,
bad.
yeah.
That's how you know it sucks. Anyway.
Well, know what I'm not laughing at? I'm not laughing at this bad transition. I don't know.
No, no, you mentioned how you wish everyone was gay like in the 90s, and boy, do I wish it was the 90s. I think everyone kind of wishes it was the 90s, because there's all like the meme going around too, like where they're like, in the Matrix, they're like, that was the peak of civilization is 90, like the late 90s, and everyone was like, yeah, right, and it's like, no, maybe it was.
Maybe it was.
Maybe
Yeah,
it was.
It really was. I mean, I think the thing is, it's like even this movie comments on the fact that like O.J. Simpson's trial is happening. It's like, yeah, Rodney King. You have like, it's like nothing. We've done terrible things constantly.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
the
of
last
course.
movie we watched, Doubt. She says that in the movie. She's like everything. Everything's been done under the sun.
Yeah.
There's nothing new. There's nothing new under the sun. But man, the '90s just felt. Watching this movie, dude. That first opening shot with just fucking belting, dude. They're just belting, baby. Oh my God. I was like, hell yeah, I'm in this. I'm ready. I'm going. I'm in that tracking shot. It was beautiful. Or the helicopter shot.
Right, yeah. This is called Cinema Knowledge, right? It's Jordan Funny Bones over there, I'm Levi.
Yeah.
You've seen this before though, right? Didn't you say? I couldn't remember. If you said that you saw it, you did?
I've seen this, yeah. I've seen this quite a few years ago. So I kind of I didn't remember all of it. I couldn't remember like the exact minute plot. I just remember that, I remember the dinner scene. That's basically the main. Yeah, I mean, obviously the Birdcage itself. That
right.
The place and that awesome funny watching it again. I was like, oh, this is cool. I remember when I first watched it, I was like, hey, this is like their Goodfellas. They're opening.
I know, right? Yeah.
So they're huge. That huge 2 minute sequence.
Yeah, it's pretty
good.
good.
It's really cool. Those three different transitions.
Yeah, I like it. The opening transitions in the club really sets it up good. And then it bookends it nice. We're having a similar style of camera movement and things at the end when they're going out of the club, which makes sense. I didn't know that this was a play either. So that's two movies back to back that we watched that have been based on plays, which I want to do plays next month, which we still might.
Yeah, we should. Why not?
Well,
this is a little taste.
It's wetting my whistle because it's even though this movie is has locations, they're not really have to, other than the Birdcage, right? Is obviously most of it and cars and stuff, but I like movies like that, just tight movies that are just little contained little bubbles. I'm into it.
Well, yeah, no, yeah. And before we get too deep in the woods, you wanna give a little synopsis for the moms?
For the mom. Which, speaking of, I'm going to see your mom on Sunday. I forgot to tell you. But
okay, good. Well, you said it. You said it on air.
I
so
did.
It's got to be real.
Cindy, I'm coming down unless the weather gets bad again. So this movie, Birdcage, right? It follows this couple, Armand. And
Armand and I really did. I did the same.
It's just Robin Williams and Nathan Lane, and I forget.
I know, right?
It's not Arthur. Anyway, which sucks because his character is great. Anyway, it's these two. Look it up for me. But these two characters, they, they're a couple that they live above this club that is is famous for doing drag shows.
Oh, it's Albert.
Armand
and Albert.
God,
Albert.
I knew I was close.
I
knew it was something like that. But so Armand and Albert, they live above and they run the drag show. Armand runs it. Albert's the star, but he's getting older and he's upset about pretty much everything. But it's Armand has a son who is 20 from a previous relationship, it seems. And he comes and is like, hey, I'm getting married, Dad. I hate to break it to you, I know. And they're all like, oh, no, you're too young. But he's like, I'm getting married to the daughter of a very conservative senator who is like has a side gig of running the fucking morality team or whatever. I forget.
I loved it. Yeah, I loved it. It's like, oh, perfect.
So like as right wing, like anti-gays you can get. And he's like, I'm marrying his daughter, and we couldn't admit that I have two gay dads or whatever, and so can you pretend? Can we just like be not gay for a night? That whole thing, and put on a good show for the right wingers that are gonna come in, and so it's a lot of them preparing, and they got fucking. God, I forget everyone's names. I literally just watched it yesterday, but they have their awesome like. Housemaid.
Well, the houseboy. Yeah. It's Agador. Agador is like his actual name, but it's Hank. Yeah. It's Hank Azaria.
Hank Azaria.
And
yeah.
It's Agador Spartacus, I guess technically.
Yeah, that's right. He likes to be called by his full name.
Yeah.
So it's obviously a build up to this, and they're trying to figure out like how they're gonna do it and if they're gonna do it, and he reaches out to Val, his son's mom, and tries to get her to come in to like stages like man and woman, because fucking Albert is like just too extra in his like femininity or gayness or whatever they're all worried about. He can never pull off pretending to be straight, and so he's all offended and hurt, like they don't want him around. But then shit is just falling apart, and I almost just said Gene Hackman is the dad, and he's going through a scandal. So they're coming down on the trip, and they're like, oh, we need this to be as normal as possible. So obviously it sets up all the stakes, and they get there for the dinner party, and it's like they tear down all the decorations. They just put up a giant crucifix. And
yeah, which is beautiful. That's such a good, that dinner scene's awesome.
But basically there's miscommunications with the mom, and so Albert does end up coming out in like full drag, but trying to be like, oh, I'm the mom, and passing successfully as a woman, and comes out, and it's there's a lot of funny banter, and fucking Gene Hackman's eating it up, and then it all obviously comes falling apart when the other mom shows up, and they're like, we've been lying, everything's a lie, everyone, this is a gay fucking, everything's super gay, and I'm sorry, you're fucking Republican ass, but he's so scared of his political image that's been going on that he can't be seen leaving because a whole bunch of fucking news reporters followed him. And so they sneak him out in the middle, him and his wife, out in the middle of a big old We Are Family drag show, sneak him out successfully. So it's like they are looking out for each other. They come together, and it's like we are family, right? Gets him out of there, and supposedly happily ever after. They end up kind of maybe not to the world accepting each other, but like a soon-to-be potentially family through marriage. There learns to be a little bit of acceptance. It's full of a lot of wacky. It's like a little bit of wackiness, a lot of jokes.
It's back in the day when I know this is based off of like a play from the 70s, so it's not to just say like the 90s sitcom, but like back when like a movie could be a 90s sitcom and just
like this.
That's like a whole movie can just hinge on that one premise.
It felt good for me because it's like I'd never seen it, and it felt good. I kind of loved that because it was refreshing. I hadn't watched a movie like that in a long time, where it's like a comedy could just, it had jokes. Like there was actually jokes, and scenes were kind of whimsical and obviously not realistic. And I would never want one, but you can imagine like a laugh track, like you say, like sitcom-esque. Yeah. With some of the situations. Well, and
I like it feels good to have like low stakes.
Yeah, it's a very situational comedy.
But a strong, very strong comedy. Yeah, right. Yeah.
But it also, I think why this movie stands out more than a lot of others, or at least has like somewhat of a cult following, is that not only is it very, very funny and very like also geared towards like a specific community, but also is like has that heart, that like emotional core of like, like acceptance and like being like how their relationship between like Agador, or not Agador, fucking Albert and Armand, and kind of like how they're like they have a little bit of strife with each other. And
what I appreciate though too is like I mean, I think it threaded the needle, and it was on that fine line of not being like sappy and preachy, and it didn't feel like some Hollywood cash grab. It didn't, and it just in the sense that like he just basically he didn't end with a big monologue of being like, I'm gay and I'm confident. And I just, I came out. He just kind of says that to his son. Like, he's like, I've been doing this for 20 years. Fuck you. I'm like, I know who I am. He uses the F word on himself. And it's like, it feels very appropriate. Like it's his.
It does.
His like. What?
That's like one of my only. I'll get my. I really like this movie, but I'll get my negatives out of the way since we're kind of bringing it up. The balance was off for me, and it wasn't like. Because I don't know how it would have been fixed. Because like you say, if this were made now, I feel like it would be way too pandering and like just kind of like leaned into it too much where it would take away from the comedy. But it's just like, I feel like it didn't blend very good. There'd be like really like, I'd be like, oh, this is like, there's definitely times early on where I'm like, man, the characterization is so good. And I'm like, this son's a piece of shit for asking his dad to like be someone he's not. And, like, you should just tell these fucking, if they can't deal with it, to kick bricks. But, whatever. Then there wouldn't be it's a situational comedy, right? So, but It's like you get involved in, like, kind of, like, their struggle a little bit and, like, their relationship a little bit. And those moments are all really good, but they almost feel like a different movie. Only because the jokes do feel like they're funny, but they're very, like, unnatural. Like, this is very situation comedy again. This is like the sets up. It's just like you can almost imagine like crazy sound effects and shit sometimes.
Yeah.
And like it really works. It's really funny, but it's just like I feel like sometimes it didn't gel just quite. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I was getting a little bit of whiplash slightly when it would go into like a heavier scene. And it sucks because I liked the heavy scenes, which there's not a ton of. And I really love the comedy.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
There's not a ton.
There's so little that it really like.
There's so little.
I feel like maybe like a speed bump instead of like, a stopgap.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, definitely way more of a speed bump. It's not like I'm getting actual whiplash, but it's like, Right. But I don't think that's a problem. But it's like I do almost wish that it's like, I don't know. Because it's like if they would have like made it too much more serious or too much more heart, then that probably would have taken away from some of the comedy. Because especially all the stuff with the senator was just fucking absurd. Like that whole storyline was just absurd.
I know.
He is a cartoon character, dude. Like
no, dude, don't get me wrong though. Like there is something about it's such a like it's okay. It's dated in the right kind of way. Like I don't know.
That's understandable because I don't think it's
when they're like when he's on the phone and he's like she was black, she was a prostitute, she like and I can't whatever like all the
he called her his last words are like he called her the money's on the dresser chocolate or some shit.
Chocolate or something, yeah. It was this thing where I'm like oh my god, this is like it's I don't know, it's like it's getting out of hand. I mean, it's nice to have just like a nice
it's great
R-rated comedy.
Well,
too.
yeah, and they're poking fun at the like the hypocrisy of like
it almost feels satirical.
Kind of
yeah, right.
Yeah, for sure.
Right, and so I think that's where it's like, it's kind of I'm almost like maybe I'm thinking that this film is like I'm on the inside. I get the joke. I'm like, oh, I get this joke, but maybe it truly is just being offensive. I'm not.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I do think that
I think that
people would maybe get worked up like sometimes now seeing that and be like, especially when they're dropping like the F bombs, and we don't mean fuck, right?
And that feels so like feels so like
natural.
Gen X to me though.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Like, right.
And well, like, and that generation
of
gay dudes, it's like I've known older gay dudes. You know what I mean? That it's like,
yeah. But it's funny. Robin Williams does not seem gay to me at all.
And it's like
I think that's just because
he's.
Yeah,
he
right?
can.
Just because
I know he can. I feel like I've seen it, but he does feel like I feel like he's. And I know this is like Robin Williams week in a way, but it's like, and obviously he was great, but I do feel like his character was sort of wasted by being like the quote unquote like not actually the straight man, but you know what I mean. Like he definitely is
the butch gay.
Yeah, he's very subdued and like. It makes me really love his character because sometimes he really does pop, especially when he gets like flustered. It's like it's when he becomes like really effeminate, and it's like Obviously, Robin Williams, like, physical comedy is so good, so it's like played for laughs in a way that really works and doesn't feel like offensive. And but yeah, it's like I know that he has so much more range, so I was like wishing for so much more, because every time we'd get one of those moments, like where they're freaking out at the dinner party, every time they go in the kitchen, it's just like so funny. It's just so good. Like, he's just like up to a max, but obviously Nathan Lane steals the fucking show.
So I mean, Nathan Lane he's so good, and you know what's crazy? Nathan Lane's openly gay,
right?
And it was like this year, like this movie helped him open up, which is great. Like, because he was gay before this film, but he wasn't out.
Yeah,
and so it's like, he talked about that a little bit being, interesting, but he kind of like it's an interesting take too, because they're like the one and only thing in this movie that bothered me, that shows its age, and I'm like, shit, like it's kind of weird, and it's a little more nuanced, I guess, but I was kind of frustrated.
His like
that,
trans identity.
He's drag exactly. Like he's drag, but like he wants to be. Yeah, he's not trans, and I think it's just maybe lack of like kind of that.
There's not
sensitivity and knowledge. That we have
there's
now.
not in the culture as much without fully committing to like
doing
one or the other.
And doing drag doesn't explicitly make you want that identity.
Not at all.
And you don't have to be queer, really. I mean, necessarily. You don't have to be gay. Like, and so that's like. That was such an interesting dynamic in there that kind of I kept getting mixed up with it, because like he would be like, I'm a woman, and then like he'd be like, but you're a man, and like but then like they're I guess it's more like Robin Williams. I'm like, do you not understand what he really wants with himself? Because like you guys are in this relationship and you think it's like a heterosexual, like gay, really whatever, not het, but like you're both gay, and they don't have like a different identity than male, but like they kind of do bring it up, and he wants to be the mother. It's kind of an interesting dynamic that they don't really get into.
They refer to him as mom. Yeah. Not like my two dads. It's like this is my mom, and
right.
And
but earlier on,
she's
in
like,
the beginning,
you're not a woman.
Robin
and it's
Williams,
like she's so hurt. But he doesn't.
Right.
Doesn't use the she pronoun at all.
But I think Nathan Lane's character is a man. He knows it too.
Yeah.
I think it's just like that's probably part of his like
fucking
maybe,
gender identities
his
are
drag
complex,
persona.
man. You know what I mean? It's like
sure, yeah.
Obviously, if we've learned.
Well, everything. I mean, not anymore now, thank God.
God bless America.
yeah. But yeah, shit. But yeah. So that's like the one thing where I'm like, oh, that's a nuance that I kind of didn't understand. But at the end, he does say like he like knows, and so I'm kind of like, okay, I think it is just part of his drag persona, which one of my favorite parts of this movie is when they're rehearsing. That's one of my favorite scenes.
The other dude's got the gum.
Like Nathan
like,
Lane, the gum. I know it is. I was so annoyed, dude, when that scene started up and he's chomping on that gum and they're trying to rehearse I was like, dude, you're being so rude right now.
Reminds me of that scene in Sunny where he's like, he had to pay the troll toll to get into the boys' hall. He's like, are you chewing gum? It's unprofessional, Artemis says.
Yeah.
No,
but that was great.
So many. I feel like this movie is kind of a mess over like in the big picture.
Yeah.
But every scene is really good. Like I did want to punch the son in the face, but it's just like obviously
I know. Well, dude,
they set him up just to be
amazing?
the fucking to make the scenario happen.
He kind of,
Exactly.
He's kind of the he's not the antagonist, but like he definitely is like he needs the most character development because like
he's just the linchpin to make the scenario happen. Right. But it's like any son that gave a fuck about his dad and was raised by these two dudes would be more like it's like he wouldn't he wouldn't have to lie for that. He would just be like But they bring up he's a dumb 20-year-old kid so often that I guess him and his fiance who has even less character development.
Do you want to know what's insane? That oh my God, what the hell is her name? Oh my gosh, I'm spacing out on the actress that plays his girlfriend. She's not in it very long, but she's Ally McBeal. What the hell is her name?
I recognize her face. I don't remember her name, but like the mom, the real mom, the bio mom.
No.
Or no, are you talking about? Because I recognized her. You talking about the other mom, the conservative mom? Yeah. Okay.
No. I'm talking about the girlfriend, the one that's going to get married, Callista Flockhart.
Okay, sure. Okay, yeah. Duh. McBeal
she
out
plays.
there.
Yeah, yeah. So she's supposed to be 18 years old in the movie. She's freaking 30 years old in that movie, dude. That is I was like, my mind was blown.
She looks pretty
That's
young.
a small tangent.
Yeah, she does look like
she looks-
closer to 18 for sure.
Well, no, exactly. When they said like 18, and I was like, oh no, she's probably like 21. You know,
Yeah,
20.
something like that.
You know, when they said 18, and then the boy, the son, I was like, that guy's like 30. He's 27. So it's he looked like a World War II pilot that like
I know,
crash landed.
literally,
Like,
yeah.
he did not look 20 years old.
Well, when he first showed up too, I'm like, something's weird is going on here because obviously Albert thinks that you know he's having an affair.
Setup, yeah.
And so it's just like you're like, oh, and then I'm like, no, he's not really. There's something else going on here, and I'm like, could that be his son? And I'm like, no way, that dude's like 35. He's like,
right.
Daddy, I'm getting married, and he's like, no, son. I'm like, oh, okay, so it is his son, but like,
And that was a part I was a little confused on too, because I was like, does he want that or not? But I don't know. Yeah. Anyways, I don't know, man. You go. I just forgot. I had something I wanted to say. Oh no, I do actually have something that's really fun that I read about. Here, wait, do you want me to go? Or
Yeah,
you
go.
Gotta, you go first. Okay.
go or I'll kill you.
Imagine this: how we're talking about Robin Williams and Nathan Lane, how they're kind of like perfect. I can't picture anyone else doing it.
No,
But
yeah.
for just a moment, rack your brain. It was going to be this was the original casting. Steve Martin was going to play Albert, or no, was going to play
Armand.
Armand. So Steve Martin was going to be Armand, the kind of straight guy.
All right.
And then Robin Williams was going to play Albert.
Huh.
And like I kind of like I'm
I
like
can see
cool,
that.
I can see that. But Robin Williams was like, "Hey, Robin Williams is a fucking star at this point." He was like, "I'm not. He's like, I don't want to play Miss Doubtfire again. I don't want to do
That's fair.
this
I
role
guess you know what I
again."
mean. Yeah, that's fair.
You know. And so he took the straight guy, and I think that kind of goes to what you said earlier, where it's like he doesn't feel quite right for the part. I almost feel like he would have been a better Albert, but then you wouldn't have gotten Nathan Lane.
Exactly.
And I think Nathan Lane is better.
It's better
for sure.
than that. Yeah, for sure. No.
Yeah.
I think Albert's just a better character. Like Armand is a completely fine character, and it's like, Robin Williams plays him as good as you can. I could see that pairing. You know what I mean? But yeah, but then we wouldn't have gotten Nathan Lane. But that is interesting.
But I kind of
to
like that
imagine.
idea. Yeah, right. I think it could work actually though. Steve Martin at that time and
Yeah,
Robin Williams doing that, but like
I could definitely see Steve Martin in that role because it's like he is better when it's just like in bursts. But then again, it is kind of. I mean, it's nice because I feel like Robin Williams is so known for like being so animated. I mean, like so much of his like bloopers are like famous where he's just like fucking improvs his ass off and is just like does a million crazy takes, just being weird.
Which in this movie, the director was like, we have to do 2 takes scripted, please, and then you can do. They would do like 5 takes of just whatever.
You could feel
like,
you could feel when he would throw like a little joke in there or something because it would always be like right before a scene cut or something. So you just add like a little extra. And those were those classic like where there what was the one where he's talking about he's like, oh yeah, we're in hell and oh there's a crucifix here like or whatever. It's like the way he does that. It feels like so like he's just messing with the other kid, like kind of just like
he's
acting
playing
with
he's
him.
playing
You know?
the room,
Yeah. And there's a lot of moments like that where he really shines through. You know what I mean? But
dude, I loved the crucifix. I loved all of the when they're trying to set up and everybody who works at the Birdcage and stuff is trying to help and they're like trying to do like Butch. They're like, isn't this what straight people like?
I know.
And it's like a moose head.
yeah,
I love
you got,
that
like
moose
all the
head, dude. It's
Playboys
so
in the
good.
bathroom. That's
All
what
the
they read.
that's what they read. Yeah, I love it so much.
Well,
That's so great.
This movie's actually fucking hilarious. Like I laughed my ass off. What for you got the what got the biggest laugh for you? Do you think? Like what part?
I think the scene that's what I'm saying. That scene when they're rehearsing, it got. I was just like cracking up
like
at the dude,
Madonna,
how
Madonna,
dumb he is,
and then the other guy's
and
like,
yeah. Well, no, but even just when it's the line when he tells him, like, when he's telling you to do all this stuff, and he's like, but you keep it inside.
But keep it inside.
Like
yeah.
that is.
It's like,
so
you want me
good.
to stand
And
here
then
and
the
be
guy-
an object? And he's like, no,
Yeah.
do all this, but internally.
but internally, right? Yeah, and like I love that guy was like a clunk, just like this lunkhead kind of guy. But I really liked him. I don't know. I mean, biggest laughs was like when Hank Azaria was when he was trying to play the butler every time he was playing the butler.
But he's like freaking out about the
I lost
soup,
my
and he's
shit,
just
dude.
like, he's like, that is a meal, it's an
shrimp.
entree. He's like, fuck the
The
shrimp.
handful of shrimp, dude. It's so good. But no, really, it's really like I'm a simple man.
Yeah.
But those like the pratfalls, dude, don't even get me started.
They're good.
When he's in
They're
the
good.
shoes, they're like, I believe so wholeheartedly that he didn't wear shoes at all the entire show until that, because they were like, go put shoes on. And like he's just.
I'm pretty
they're
sure those are
too
not
big,
his
and
shoes. He doesn't own shoes. He just
No,
had to borrow shoes.
No, 100%, dude. And he's just it's him gingerly walking, trying to like go.
Very super low bow every time. Got me. Yeah.
I know. I love how he goes along with it. I don't know who the hell he is in the movie, really.
Yeah.
I don't understand. He is just the houseboy.
Yeah, pretty much. Part slayed me. Because I don't know, I wasn't expecting, and the delivery is just so good. But it's just like when Albert storms out and they go to that little diner around the corner, and he's like, practice to be a man. He's like, I pierced the toast. But when he's like,
that's a good.
when I laughed so hard when he's like, all right, what's the manliest man we know? John Wayne. All right. He's like, all right, walk like John Wayne. And then he like staggers. He's like, hey, ma'am. He's like walking around, his arms all slagging around. He's like, what? No good? He's like, no, actually, that was perfect. I just didn't realize that's how John Wayne walks.
John Wayne walked. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that got me so hard. I don't know why, but it's just like seeing of John Wayne. I'm like, he does walk exactly like that, and seeing somebody else do it to try and imitate manliness is insane. Like it's absolutely
I know, it really is. It really is. But that whole trans. I do love when Nathan Lane tries to do it, and he tries to be straight. But it really I love too when he comes out in the suit, and I'm like. Oh, this is hilarious! Like he really is having a tough time.
Well, they should have complimented him. He looked good. I mean, like I was obvious, but
good,
he was handsome.
Yeah.
Another thing I loved about obviously when they go to that diner and stuff. But another thing I really loved that was really subtle in the movie, and I feel like nowadays they would make a huge speech pontificating about it, but it shows them going around town all the time, and they are just known quantities there. They are firmly part of the community. And it's seeing that,
cool,
not only at the Birdcage, everyone comes there and knows there. And obviously Albert is his shows are famous, and he's an artiste and all that. But when he goes to the cake shop, it's they know everyone by a first name basis. They go to the it's just so casually when, when they walk to that diner, and Albert's freaking out. He's like, waiter, water. And it's he called him waiter, but then he comes over and they know each other by first name. You know what I mean?
Right.
Once they get over, and I'm like, it's just little details like that where it's just I was expecting that to come back because I've been so trained to expect that speech at the end where, I was like, you know what? Fuck standing up to this. I am who I am, and this is my husband, and I love him. And he takes the wig off and kisses him. It's I was expecting the monologue, but I never got the monologue, which in retrospect is very kind of fresh and nice. You know what I mean? To not, because it's it didn't need it. You know what I mean? It's I kind of all the information was there.
Right.
And having, and also
I loved,
yeah.
What do you got?
No. It's just also having them, I forget their last names, but fucking the Republican senators.
The Keeleys?
The
Yeah,
Keeleys,
the
yeah.
Keeleys.
Having them I was also expecting them to be oh, shucks, we were wrong all along and everything. And they didn't really ever do that either. But it's their actions kind of speak louder than words, because it's even though it is in self-preservation, it's that is a step forward. But there's a lot of more of showing and not telling. And then it's just especially with the gags, everything felt very physical, including the pertinent information and storytelling, which I appreciated.
Yeah, I really love Gene Hackman's his like tick where he gets nervous and he has
candy
to eat all the
fixation.
candy.
Yeah, so good.
His candy, and he's eating out of the trash. That's really good. Yeah,
Gene Hackman, man. It's
well, no,
like,
what's great too is Gene Hackman. He does when he's on the ladder with the reporters, when he's trying to sneak out the back.
Yeah, so
and he does like the
that's like a
the
cartoon,
Nixon.
dude. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, he's a cartoon. Like he does the Nixon thing, but it's great because Gene Hackman threatened Nixon and was like on the blacklist. The FBI had him like
Really?
blacklisted.
That's
because
amazing.
There's
There's a picture of
I
him
was
shaking
reading about it.
Nixon's hand in his office.
Well-
I noticed. Like I was like,
Yeah.
when it first introduced his character, that's hilarious. That's amazing.
Yeah, so like that's what's great is like the IRL of it is like he hates Nixon.
Yeah.
So it's great that it's like it's kind of one of those things where I'm like that you can kind of feel that come off where it's like you're like this isn't Gene Hackman. Like
No,
he's,
well,
he's
the way
this,
he's playing this
and
guy
and it
too
is a
is
little
just-
absurd the whole way.
Well, that's kind of the point. Obviously, like we said earlier, it's like very kind of like satirical in the way that he's like playing so hard in the mentality of like
Yeah.
the hatefulness of like, it's like, oh, like prayers in school and like gays are ruining this country and all this. And it's like, obviously that is unfortunately what a lot of people think. And, but like
yeah.
the way he's playing it off is like, he's like the dummy, the hypocrite too,
Right. Yeah,
which
he's
makes
the
sense.
ridiculous one.
Yeah.
And so
Oh,
yeah.
100%. And it's like, and even though like Albert is beyond fucking ridiculous and hysterical like all the time, it's amazing. It's so funny. But
dude,
it like
them getting
it's the worst.
along. Gene Hackman
So
and Nathan
good.
Lane, like that.
He
the
loves her,
senator,
dude. Yeah,
the
he loves
senator
her.
falling for that, and I still can't quite tell if he truly fell for it or if he was just being polite.
No,
I couldn't
he fell
really
for it
get
'cause
that.
he's a fucking
but
moron.
I love that is my headcanon. Like I'm 100% like
He's planning on
he
running away with her.
Literally
Yeah.
the entire time he was like you are the most upright. You're like you were the citizen that I want to be. And I swear I know he's dressed. I can't remember. He's supposed to be dressed like maybe Kennedy or maybe Nixon's wife or something or someone or like Reagan's wife. He looks like a first lady, like a Republican first lady.
does,
That's
yeah.
what I love when he comes out.
Even
I
the
just-
giant pearls that like
the pearls, yeah. The second he walked out, though, I'm like, this is perfect. It's so funny
So good.
when he and like I love it because you just hear the begging and they're like, we've got a chihuahua,
chihuahua,
or whatever.
yeah.
Like, they're like, we've got to talk. You hear this begging and like I actually didn't know. I couldn't remember how he comes because I remember the dinner scene. I remember that's the whole bit is he does the Mrs. Doubtfire. But like I couldn't remember how he does it, and so it's great. It's like him sneaking out. Like he just like Albert can't do anything subtle, and so I love
no, not at all. It's perfect. It's so funny because it's like, I was talking about like how, the Senator Keeley is played for like laughs with like his extreme and like how he's just kind of a oaf of it all, but like he gets so long with Albert when he is like playing this like super right wing woman, to like when he's taking it even further when he's like. He's like, if you can't ban abortions, just kill the moms. It's like,
that's so good.
it's just like, they get abort them anyway. May as well go down with the ship. And he loves it. Like it's,
Yeah, he loves it. Yeah, he loves it. Yeah,
that's good.
and I love that too. That wherever he says he's from like something cove or whatever, from like some, and that's just from like a stage play. It's like not even real, and so that's going on. I'm like, oh, this is so absurd. Like he just. How like Senator Keeley's just like, oh, that's sounds like the most beautiful place ever. Like
It's ridiculous. What is the first, other than this movie, what's the first movie you think of when you think of like Nathan Lane? Because I was like watching it and I was like, yeah, Nathan Lane's been in a lot of good stuff, and I was going through it, but the first thing that came to mind for me was Mousetrap.
oh, that's what's great, dude. I'm looking at his thing because it's like, I don't know, man. The first thing that comes to mind. Mousetrap's up there. I mean, it's hard because it's like
I watched that movie a
know,
lot
I
when
know
I was a
that-
kid, when I was little.
I know the producers, but dude, yeah, or Mouse Hunt, but whatever, yeah.
Did I say Mousetrap? Yeah, Mouse Hunt.
Yeah, Mousetrap, whatever. I mean, it's
Whatever. They got the cheese, the fucking. Because I always still think that the string cheese they have at the end of that's just like a ball of yarn, but cheese. That's $1 million idea right there.
yeah, dude, yeah. But yeah, I don't know. The producers was like that was one.
Well, this all making me realize I never really thought how much I actually like Gene Hackman, because I was always like, yeah, Gene Hackman, I know who that is, and he's fine. And then in this
I
movie,
think
I'm
this
like,
movie made
he's
me
really
like him 10 times more.
same. And I'm like, he's really funny. And then I'm thinking back all his other roles, and I'm like, most recently for the podcast, and it's like we watched
the his old school one from the 70s. Oh my god,
French Connection.
We don't watch
Jesus.
movies, so French Connection. Thank you.
And so I was thinking, I was like, yeah, he's really good in French Connection. And then I was like, oh, duh. And in like Royal Tenenbaums and that, and I'm like, yeah, Gene Hackman's pretty good, man. Like, is he alive?
Yeah,
he's probably not alive, right?
Oh, I think so.
Is
Actually,
he?
I don't know now.
That's. I know. As watching this too, I kept remembering that Robin Williams was dead and he killed himself. I was
know.
like, every time I was like,
it's
oh, bummer.
I know, and it's been, dude. It's almost been 20. It's like, or not 20 years. It's been 15 years almost.
Yeah, it's wild
that he did it. It's crazy, right?
Time flies. Because next week we're doing. I didn't even talk to you about it, but we're doing Heath Ledger, and that's been like 15 years too, almost.
Right. I saw that. Yeah, that is wild.
Which is like crazy. Time flies. It's scary. But
I know, and Robin Williams was like batting 1,000, dude. This is like his 8th movie that he made that cracked 100 million. So there you go. That's we'll get deeper into the money minute.
It's pretty good for this. Yeah. Well, how much? Well, since you already let the fucking cat out of the bag, what? How much did it cost? What was the cost?
And Gene Hackman is still alive, by the way.
Oh, good. Okay.
That I just wanted.
Okay, good.
We haven't killed him yet, so.
Don't. Oh my God, no, Gene, no.
Yeah. But yeah, no. This movie had for me personally, I feel like 31 million was the budget, and that's high. That's really high for
a comedy
96.
and with little locations. Like that is pretty high.
Right. This movie has been in production since like 82 or something, 84. And it's gone through a bunch of iterations, of people who they wanted to cast. But
that makes sense because I was like, I would have guessed like 15, 20. 20 because of the stars, like Robin Williams is a star.
Right. But I kind of forget.
But still, 100 million, that's pretty good.
How much of a star?
I wouldn't have thought.
No, it made 100. It made 185.
Oh, almost 200.
Almost made 200.
Yeah, that's pretty dang good.
Like it's Robin Williams' 8th movie to break 100 million. This guy, this guy's.
I know,
bonkers, dude.
And it's like his movies. It's like this is one of the most seen ones, just like World's Greatest Dad.
It's most seen. No, except for Good Dad or whatever.
Yeah, World's Greatest Dad.
Yeah,
the casual viewer.
The most casual film goer.
That's pretty impressive because it's like I know a lot of people. It's like obviously he was a very like joyful outwardly and like uplifted a lot of people not only in his work but like also like in his philanthropy and like on the side and everything, and like he was a very like happy man. So I know a lot of people were like so devastated to hear that it's just like of his death, especially by suicide, is such a bummer. It just goes to show. But it's like in retrospect too, it's like
that's dude.
Looking back, it's like you can
so
see
so many interviews with him, and there is like this in between him being like on there. You can see he's just like. That's probably there's a lot of like I'm putting a lot of projection and
sure, but it's like
hindsight on that.
I remember
but
people talking about like his depression
tired.
and stuff like that, and it's like he never like let that show, but it's like it goes to show, it's like you never know, man. Fucking give someone a hug. Like you never know who's fucking feeling that depression like that. It's just a bummer to see because I remember like when he died and like just like it was wild. And it's like I was never like the biggest Robin Williams fan. Like I never like thought about him a lot. But like after he died, I was like, yeah, man, dude, like he just brings he's
a childhood staple.
He does. Well, he is a staple, but it's like, but he's so like kind of ingrained. You're never like, who my favorite actor is Robin Williams. You know what I mean? Especially back then. But it's just like, I don't know, like it hit in a way that it's just like, oh yeah, like now that he's got, you don't know how good you got it till it's gone, kind of thing. Where it's just like,
really though,
he really brought us.
He had so many more movies left in him, dude.
So many, and he just brightens everything around him, and I guess maybe that's why he was so depressed. I don't know. It's like he just was giving it all away and not saving none for himself because it's like he really did
for reals.
the amount of smiles that guy just brings me, even in his darker roles, man. Like even we didn't watch it for this week, but like we're gonna have to watch in the future since I've realized you've never seen it now. Is like 1 hour photo where it's like he's straight up just like a killer, and like Christopher Nolan's very underrated Insomnia, where he's also a serial killer in Insomnia, which we're gonna go down there.
Wait, Robin Williams is in Insomnia?
Yeah, dude, he's the killer. He's the fucking.
Oh, he's the guy.
He's the Buffalo Bill fucking killer guy. I don't know. He doesn't Buffalo Bill.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, right. But that's so funny. I didn't know it was Robin Williams.
Yeah.
No spoilers.
I know. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, we're gonna have to go down that path one of these days. We'll put 1 hour photo. We'll come back around and do more thriller adjacent stuff because that's like my favorite subgenre probably, and it's like there's just too many. Which real quick, I gotta say.
I mean, I know we say that about westerns
I
and
know.
horror.
There's a slight. Did we do Green Room on the podcast?
Yeah, dude, of course.
Did we?
We did Green Room. Yeah.
Okay, I was
100%.
I watched some of Green Room the other day, and I'm like, A, I love that movie, but like B, I was like, I almost did Anton Yelchin as the last week.
Oh, yeah, right.
But then I was like, did we watch Green Room? I think maybe we did. I can't do Anton Yelchin. And then I was like,
we have to watch Star Trek or whatever.
I know. Thoroughbreds, which I'd like to watch again, but that wouldn't win. Yeah, Star Trek would win or something.
Yeah.
Which makes me wonder because next week we're doing obviously Heath Ledger, which I think that was a good one because it's like he's got about 5 good movies, and so that'd be perfect for the poll.
Wow, sick burn. But no, really though. Yeah,
hey, that's better than some. I mean, obviously it's not fucking 8 movies breaking 100,000 Robin Williams, but it's like Heath Ledger. I forget that I'm like, yeah, he's pretty good, man. He's all right. He's pretty good. I'm interested to see what'd you vote for.
I'm excited to. It was the one movie I hadn't seen yet, and I
same probably.
Yeah, because I don't know that was he Blow? Didn't he? Oh no, that's
Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp. Man, I don't know why I was thinking because what's the movie that he did that's like that where it's like he's into heroin?
I think it's Candy, which is what I voted for because I'd never seen it.
Oh no, I voted for Brokeback Mountain. Yeah.
Is it winning?
I guess I was just filling.
I don't know.
Yeah, filling the whim. Right now, it's tied. 10 Things I Hate About You and Brokeback Mountain. Oh, it's tied with Dark Knight. There's a 3-way tie.
I knew it was going to be those 3, but I was wondering which one would run away with it. But I'm like, they're all pretty popular, so I'm like,
we'll see. Go out there and vote, folks.
I've never seen
some hours left.
I've never seen 10 Things I Hate About You, so I was going to vote for that, but I voted for Candy. But we'll see.
Yeah.
And
I'd be happy. I'd be happy to watch.
I'd be happy to watch any of them too. We should do Dark Knight just because I know we're in the minority and we're hipsters and we don't like it as much. Just
really though,
just
yeah.
But it'd be everyone off.
It'd be our most viewed podcast in YouTube. Maybe.
I'd hope so. Yeah. Anyway, a tangent. I don't really have much else to say about Birdcage. Like, I think it's great. I think it's a lot of fun.
I think it's a solid ass comedy, and I highly recommend it.
I'd watch it again. I'm bummed my wife didn't watch it with me just because it's like I think she would enjoy it.
Victoria's wanted to watch this forever, and then something came up last night, and so I was like, well, I have to watch it. I only have Monday, so
I know she. I had to split it in half because we were binging through Chernobyl again. And Mary, Mary's like, let's watch Chernobyl, and then we got sucked into it, so I couldn't finish Birdcage. I had to finish it yesterday. Which Chernobyl's so good. But the one other thing I had to mention, my one other gripe about this movie, the biological mom that shows up, completely unnecessary.
Oh, right.
And
no, completely
derails kind of the whole movie, honestly. Like, I feel like all the scenes, like, she's fine, and, like, everything about her's fine, but it's like, you could, like, she ends up being kind of inconsequential to everything.
Well, she's a ticking time bomb in this, like, there's already enough. There's already enough substance.
Already,
So, like, I don't know.
A million things could bring it crashing down, and it's like, we just kind of didn't need her, and it also just her chemistry of like trying to explain but not really their relationship and their past just felt so clunky. Where it's like we had a baby together, but then I like paid you out for it,
and I guess. Well, and I can't forgive. I'm never in a million years going to forgive a mom that's like, man, I wish I was in my child's life. Oh, it's been 20 years, and I could have picked up the phone, contacted them at any moment.
That's what I'm talking about. That's like sometimes it wants to touch on the heart of the stuff because it's like,
Yeah.
there could have been an emotional thing and character development for Val, where it's like, because he's literally like, "Nice to meet you, Mom. I've never even fucking met you since birth," and I'm like,
I know, right?
That's fine, but it's like, and then they have to say the backstory where it's like, it'd be different if it's like, they wanted a kid, so they had a woman like in vitro like have a kid for them. That would have made more sense than like, "Oh, I got drunk and we banged for like 3 hours and I knocked you up and then I bought your baby," and it's like, I don't know, it just threw the whole thing. I don't know, like to me it was just like,
Right.
I'm like, why? And then she's like so friendly and so happy, they're like dancing, like, what's the point of this?
It really like, I think they just wanted to do they wanted Nathan Lane to do some of that sweet waiting impatiently comedy that is all the rage. I don't know. I was like, dude, the like third time they cut back to him being like waiting in the waiting thing, I was like, okay, this is like, derail is the correct term.
It's the same joke.
It's the same bit. It's the same bit. I'm like, I love it. I love Nathan Lane. He's doing some great, magazine prop work. But like, I was like,
Yeah.
I mean, it is funny though when he comes in and he's like got the hair down him and he just like, I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's
he's
funny.
He's not like Armand isn't there to hit on her, but he just gets
Armand is
like,
just
Albert gets offended by
so
everything.
sexy. Yeah, apparently that like Albert is always thinking he's having an affair. Constantly.
Yeah, right. That's what I love. Yeah, I love how insecure he is, but like it's
See, as a hairy dude with a very, very hairy chest too, I was like to see that positive body positivity for.
I know we
big
did that.
hairy
Well, dude,
dudes.
that was Robin
Robin
Williams would
Williams.
always he would always call his arms opera gloves because they were so.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And that's
Damn
like,
you, Robin
I was
Williams.
like, damn, man. And he was depressed.
Yeah.
That's comedy gold.
I know. Anyway, so
Man,
that was the last
dude,
thing.
No,
I said.
rest in peace, man.
Yeah, seriously, it's a damn shame. And honestly, it's like every time I look at his filmography, I'm like, there's some fucking bangers in here. A, and B,
And there's a lot I still need to watch.
yeah,
so
that was
nice.
that was B. There's quite a few that I'm like I've not seen because I mean I watched Dead Poets Society for the first time for the podcast like 6 months ago or however long ago that was. Go watch that episode. Go listen to that. But I'm like, he was great in that. He's great in everything. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing. It's like he kind of always just brings. He's got a presence that is sorely missed, and I'm glad he's at least immortalized through the beautiful medium of film.
Yeah. Do we have a Reddit?
Oh, I almost just ended the podcast.
Oh, that's not a great place to end it because we
forgot.
have a lovely audience
I
out
just
there.
don't even know who I am. I bet you we do.
That's all right.
I bet you we got a Reddit. Let's see. Whoops, that's the wrong
getting
one.
there.
I pressed the wrong things. Oh no. Oh God, where is it? Okay, Birdcage.
Yeah.
I forgot how to use Reddit. Fuck. So Clones of People 2 says first watch. I would have pegged him and he would have watched this. I feel like I was in the minority for not having seen it. He says, first watch, I've wanted to watch this for a while, but my wife insisted that I watch the original first, so we watched the original and then this version over the last few days. I enjoyed both versions, but they are essentially the same film. Storyline is beat by beat, and most of the jokes are the same. Seeing both lets me notice the strengths and weaknesses, though. Nathan Lane steals the show. It's an amazing performance considering he was in the closet when this was made. Oh, I have read this because I was like, well, yeah, when you said that, I was like, yeah, that's right, because that's wild to me. Because it's like I've obviously always known, like I've always known Nathan Lane has been out in my lifetime.
Yeah,
almost like
same.
As far as I've been aware of him, and
right.
And the fact that he was closeted during this movie, and then hopefully, yes, being his performance, like maybe had something to do with him. I'd be interested to see with him coming out more. Because that's good. Anyway, so he says he goes on to say the film is missing a score. The original has an Ennio Morricone score, and while it's not amazing, it's really prominent. Robin Williams is perhaps underused. He is really tied down to the script. There are a few moments where he did something from the original, and those stood out. Calling his son Sport, dropping the pot, the scene where he's directing Lane and the new guy. But for the most part, he's really just playing the same guy from the first. Overall, I like this. The plot was well structured, and it's a funny concept. 7 out of 10. Nice. Ennio Morricone.
That's awesome. Cool. Well, thanks for doing our homework, because I was curious about like what the correlation is between the old one and I would love to watch the old one, because it's like there's going to be it's going to be a little outdated because it's not that old, right? Because if it's like, well, actually, I don't know when. Is their original movie? I see. Okay, so maybe 78 is the original movie, and there was a play before it. But anyways, regardless, it's still going to be 20 years old from that point. So I'm curious what like some of the connective dialogue is between the the bigger more like showy parts of it. The conflict.
The other thing I was surprised by, so it's just like this is directed by Mike Nichols, which.
I know who we watched. We watched Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf,
which I fucking loved that movie, and he also did The Graduate, which I was like, it's weird because this doesn't feel the same, but then knowing that, I'm like, I could see that DNA, and I'm kind of like, okay,
right. And when those are so different, Virginia
different.
Woolf's like 66 or something, right? 69.
Yeah, Graduate's 62, and so that's why it's like kind of weird. Oh, dude, he did.
Oh shit. Oh, so it's.
He did
60 probably, I think, right?
He did Wolf with fucking
crazy.
Jack Nicholson? What the fuck? Anyway.
Yeah.
Should add that to the fucking Horror-tober, baby. More werewolves. Anyway.
Yeah.
That's Birdcage. I don't know what we're watching next week, so be sure to check in on that. It's going to be one of those 3 movies we fucking said already. So if you want to turn the tide, you better get on it, because by the time you listen to this, there'll probably be like an hour left on the bowl, if that. So
yeah, right.
I'm sending out there in the world in live time. You're not listening to it, but I'm just sending the vibrations out. Go vote. Go vote. Come to the Reddit. Talk to us about movies. If you fucking nerds want to talk about The Dark Knight, I'll fucking get into it with you about The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
We'll
watch The Dark Knight, man.
I'm going to pick Dark Knight, but then I'm going to just put Insomnia, because that is the one that's the Christopher Nolan movie. Everyone forgets about it. I even forget about it.
Oh, 100%.
Like, even more than like following
like,
or something. It's like, it's like him trying to do a very, because it's just a very straightforward thriller. Just a very, no gimmicks. It's just a very straightforward thriller. And Al Pacino. Anyway. Bye now. That's all. Oh yeah, wait. Go to the.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you if you're watching.
Go to YouTube.
Go to the Patreons if you're there. We love you.
Yes,
we appreciate that.
Support us financially.
Like, please.
We appreciate it.
Yeah,
you guys rock.
We like you. So, yep. So check those out. I mean, Oscars are coming up soon, which if you care about those, I don't know, we might do something about that. Because I'm forced. We gotta grind everything, and I'm forced myself to watch all those movies. So I have a platform to talk about how much I hate Wicked.
Oof. Yeah, I mean we'll get into it, because I guess that's the thing. Yeah, it's like I don't like the movie, but I love everything it stands for.
It's not for me. Anyway.
Right. Exactly. On just a film basis.
That's a sneak peek. So come back
that's
for more.
Typically how it goes.
Not
you like
listen to me talk about Wicked. All right, I'm hanging up.
You take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.